my gosh, I feel like amazing today, y'all. Let me tell y'all, there is so much going on in a major way that I am kind of like overwhelmed at everything that's going on. Good things, good things. One of my favorite parts of the last 24 hours is that I actually launched an amazing one-on-one intensive for women who are in their arrival era. What does this mean? This means I am opening up, well, my applications are already open for women who have done a lot of internal work. And instead of needing to be seen as someone who is fixed, they are now looking at a significant life review and being honored in those moments. This is transformational work on a different level, on a more spiritual level, on a more grounded level as well. And if you're ready to take your next steps to be witnessed as the woman that you have become, I want you to click the link that is pinned here so that you can fill out, hey, Emery, thank you, so that you can fill out your application to become one of the amazing witness women in this intensive. Again, limited applications. Limited availability, but I'm telling you, it is so next level. And just in case you're new here or you want to know, my name is Cass Young. I'm an intuitive prophetic speaker. And for over 10 years, I have sat at the bedside of many women who have transitioned, the final transition, as a death doula. I have over 10 years of experience as a hospice social worker. That is my specialty. And all too often, I have seen women who have accomplished so much in their lives, not just personally, not just emotionally, but spiritually and career-wise. And they often get recognized at the end of their lives. And I decided to take that skill set of life review, of honoring, of respecting that space, and translate it over to women who are ready to do that for themselves now. So again, make sure that you check out my offering, The Witness Woman, so that you can be one of the women who are not waiting for the end of their lives to be witnessed. And with that being said, let me see if I can, this light is so bright, y'all. I feel like I come on here every time and talk about this light. And at the beginning, it feels good, but then it just somewhere along the route, it just gets like ridiculous. So let me see if I can find a nice balance here. You know what else, guys, that has been going on as I find, oh God, that's right. As I find this perfect lighting, y'all, I am sans makeup today, right? So I did not feel like putting on any makeup. So I am just out here with Vaseline on my lips, okay? This might be the vibe right now. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get into this energy, y'all. Listen, God is not playing about you. God is not playing about you. The conversations are all about you, collective. Oh my gosh, there's so much talk. Your name is in everybody's mouth, and it is insane. Because I already know, collective, from where your journey used to be to where you are now, the first thing that comes to mind is that people are talking negative about you. And that's always going to be the case, because you're going to have people who don't like you for whatever personal reasons that they have, or because you're somebody's, you're the villain in somebody's story, and that is what it is, and it's probably because you drew your boundaries. But there are also different levels of conversation that are happening, including conversations that are protecting you, conversations that are observational, conversations that recognize delayed recognition. And then you have like the supernatural and spiritual conversations that are happening as well. And I'm telling you right now, all of those conversations are taking place simultaneously. Why? Because you have broken through a barrier or a portal that no one ever expected you to. People are in awe of you. And however it comes out, whether it's negative or it's positive, the fact of the matter is that you going to this next level is shaking the table. It's shaking the table. And here's the thing. When I'm speaking about being the topic of conversation like you are, collective. I am not speaking about someone who is desiring to be the topic of conversation, because you have those girlies who are saying, I want my name has to be in everybody's mouth. I have to be this person that is always the talk of the town. The women that I'm speaking to, they don't have a desire to be in everybody's mouth. They don't have a desire to be spoken about. They don't have a desire to be the topic of conversation. But because they are who they are, and because their energy is so powerful and big, and because of the movements that they make, there is no choice. People have no choice but to talk about you. So some people just want to be the topic of conversation because they want that attention, and other women are simply the topic of conversation because how they move, how they show up in the world, and how amazing and powerful they are. So let's get to it, okay? Let's talk about what's happening with this overall energy. Ooh, look, Queen of Swords came out with the Moon and the Five of Swords, baby. Let's talk about it. What's on the bottom? Two of Swords, Four of Swords. Woo, wee. When I say not only, listen, not only are you the topic of everybody's conversation, you are top of mind. You are top. Let me say something. Follow me. In marketing, it's this thing called top of funnel, mid funnel, and then bottom of funnel, right? And so your top of funnel is like everybody, right? So YouTube would be considered my top of funnel, right? This is how I get to the masses. This is how I speak to my community. This is a part of my ministry, right? So you would be considered top of funnel interaction, okay? You are top of funnel for a lot of people. Queen of Swords is letting me know that your energy is so big, it's so magnetic, even if you don't initially want it to, that people have no choice but to talk about the imprint that you're leaving and the trail that they are in with you. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. And how you are moving is so significant that is actually making people step out of, they're thinking different about you. They're thinking different about you. They are seeing how you are moving. People, let me tell you something right now, people are having conversations within themselves on whether or not they want to like you or they want to dislike you. And the people that are leaning more towards disliking you, they are doing that because you stir something up within them. You stir something within them that makes them, they have two choices. Either they can say, hey, I need to improve myself, or they say, I don't like how she's holding up a mirror to my face. So therefore, instead of me improving myself, I have to hate on her. And a lot of the women that I'm speaking to are mostly there. Let me tell you something. I was watching this video on TikTok, y'all. It really broke my heart because this young woman who is I think she's like a lifestyle beauty influencer. I scrolled through a couple of her videos, and she put up this post about how her child was being bullied in daycare by one of the daycare providers. And so she was watching this on real time, how her child was being bullied, and she called up to the school. And she called up to the school and said, hey, I need y'all to pull this footage because I need you to look at what's happening to my child. Not only was her child being scolded for anything, but the teacher had the other children join in on the bullying and the scolding of the child. So this woman enters her video saying she's so upset of what happened to her child, and she found it in real time, right? I want y'all to follow me. When she showed the update of the teacher, when she showed the picture of the teacher or the daycare provider, I immediately knew what the problem was. The problem was not that her child did anything wrong. Her child is the representation of innocence, of somebody who can't fight back. The problem was that the teacher or the child care provider had an issue with the confidence, with the beauty, with the the mindset, the intelligence of the mother. And because the child care provider could not address the mother and tell her that she has a problem with her, she decided to bully the mother through the child. That's what happened. And I feel like a lot of y'all have experienced people bullying you by proxy. So they don't come to you with the problem. They might go to the HR and say, oh, you just have an attitude problem. They might not come to you and say, hey, I have a problem with you. They may go to your sponsor and say you're problematic. They may not come to you and say, hey, I have a problem with you. They may start up a channel and just start telling lies on you. That is bullying by proxy. You're using another strategy to come at somebody instead of saying, I have a problem with you. And I feel like a lot of women are experiencing that. And I'm seeing, and that is something that comes to mind with this Queen of Swords energy. It's something that taps in with this Queen of Swords energy. And this is top of funnel. This is top of mind. Because think about all of the people that you come across, all of the women that you come across in your life, who you have been nothing but kind to, receptive to, loving, understanding. Some of you have opened up your homes, opened up your wallets, opened up your spirituality to some of these women. And all they did was take everything from you and then slap you in the face and tell you that it wasn't them and hide their hands. Right? You're top of mind for them, always. Always top of mind for them. And I want you to understand just how powerful that is. That's a part of the conversation. These people are still talking about you. And they're talking about you because they feel like they got one up on you when you were down or when you weren't where you are now. Okay? The other part is that during this, as well as people are speaking about you top of funnel in a negative way, there is a rewriting of your story that people attempt to do. Okay. And I feel like a lot of you might actually have experienced this before. There is a rewriting of your struggle. There's a rewriting of your why, of your purpose. There's a rewriting of your struggle. And most of the time, people try to minimize your life experience. Because if they really put the mind or the logic or the understanding and the compassion, if they truly put that into knowing that your journey was not a walk in the park, then they would have to admit that you have overcome big stuff. They would have to admit that you overcame what nobody thought you would, that you're a winner, that you're a survivor, that you're thriving. They would actually have to open up their mouths and say, oh my gosh, she actually made it. She made it in spite of. She made it in spite of not getting the full scholarship. She made it in spite of not getting her first pick at her job and still was able to work her way up. She made it in spite of being a single mom, or she made it in spite of not being able to show up on this day or that day. Whatever it is that they thought that you weren't going to be able to bust through, you did it and more. You exceeded their expectations. And isn't it wild that these haters have expectations of you anyway? These people try to rewrite your story mostly by minimizing your journey and your pain. Isn't that wild? Go home, Roger. Ugh. Looking at this Two of Swords with the Four Swords, yeah, I'm telling you, you are top of mind for everybody. Let's go deeper into this Queen of Swords, because I feel like there's even more in this negative energy that we have to point out. And let me tell you something. They are doing exactly what they need to do. We're not pointing out, look, the Magician. Who's hiding underneath the Magician? The Page of Cups in reverse. Empty. Empty. When I point out, and the Queen of Pentacles, we're going to talk about her. When I point out people that are talking negative about you, it's not for you to harp on it. It is not for you to take it to your chest. It's not for you to go to bed with it on your mind and hype up your anxiety. It's to make you aware. It's to make you aware that everybody that's smiling in your face is not your friend. Everybody that might be rooting for you on the outside is not rooting for you on the inside. And that is because they truly do wish they had what you had to get them out of their situation. That's the thing. I never want you to sit up here and harp on somebody that's a hater or harp on somebody outside of that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make you aware that spiritual warfare and negative conversations happens no matter where you are in your life. People tell you, oh, focus on who you making mad. No, it's not about who you're making mad. It's that they are mad because you are living your life in alignment. You're not doing that to make anybody mad. You're not succeeding to make them mad. So when I say people are looking to slow you down, it's because they can't keep up. That's the negative conversation. When I say you are the topic of all conversations, I mean all. Negative to positive to spiritual. Your name is moving through rooms in a very big way, baby. In a very big way. And if you ever doubted your power, if you ever doubted who you are, boom, baby, I need you to recognize and tap in. Looking at this Magician with the Page of Cups in reverse, you know what? I feel like, collective, a lot of y'all are speaking up. A lot of you are speaking up about what makes you uncomfortable, what is not welcome in your circle. Oh my goodness. This is not the conversation for that. Please take that question somewhere else. Thank you. I feel like the more that you speak up, the more that you put your voice out there, the more that you continue to, you know what just came to me, y'all? What came to me is that the more that you dig into what fulfills you, the more this archetype of hater feels depleted. It's like, how dare you take what you love to do or what you're looking to do and pour energy in that instead of me. I feel like there's some performative energy around here that you have to be aware of. Be aware of anybody who is desperately trying to get your attention. And a desperate attempt to get your attention doesn't have to be like outlandish. It will be tuned in on a frequency that you will notice. And they will do little things to get you to look their direction. Because you are putting in time into a level of self-development that many people just won't understand, it is like you are taking it, not it is like, it is. You are taking the attention away from their attention seeking. Yeah. So the antics might ramp up a little bit. The antics might ramp up a little bit. What do I say do? Let them perform. Sometimes when you're on this journey, a clown show is necessary to make you laugh. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then looking at the Knight of Swords, yeah. I'm telling you, rewriting your story, comparing themselves to you, that's a big one. The comparative monster, whoo-wee. The comparative monster, you will hear a lot. And this is what I'm saying, bullying by proxy. Y'all, this energy is coming out. And I feel like a lot of women are sitting here, even in their arrival era. This comparative monster, this conversation is happening in many spaces. I am feeling like there's an ex-friend who is comparing themselves to you. I feel like there's a boyfriend or a girlfriend. This is a romantic partner that is comparing who you used to be with them to who you are now. Like, I feel like I have to stop saying that as a description. Many of you are dealing with a comparison monster that is showing up because you are standing at a threshold of change, of significant change. Dare I say, a profitable financial change. And so somebody is saying, oh, you didn't used to be like that when you was with me, or when you knew me, you didn't care about X, Y, and Z, or you didn't want to be this type of person. Like, so what? The problem is that people want to be the inspiration for your success. The problem is that people want to be the inspiration for your success. And when they find out that they're not, when they find out that you either found another way to be inspired, or someone else inspired you to do better and greater, they melt inside. Why couldn't you do this with me? Because you were not the modem for me becoming great. They don't know how to sit with that. That wasn't a part of your story. That's not a part of theirs either. Tap in. So they're comparing who you used to be to who you are now. You know what I say? Kick rocks. Keep on comparing. Keep on comparing. Compare as much as you can, because while they are comparing, remember, they are staying stagnant. They're comparing themselves to a moving beast, to a moving boss. Ooh, baby. Tap in. What else these people got to say? Yeah. And they are big stressed. The swords coming out unapologetically in this conversation is absolutely insane. So all of this vibrato, all of this machismo, all this, I knew you before you got big, all this, that ain't nothing but a shell. That's the conversation that they're choosing to have about you being a winner. You are the topic of all conversations. And at the lowest frequency, at the lowest vibration, that's what they're choosing to do with their energy and their time. And to these people who want to compare you to who you used to be, to who you are now, baby, they've been stuck in that old world for a long time. Because how many seasons of your life have you gone through to make it to this point? Plenty. Non-stop. You're probably going through the middle of a season right now. And they still talking about you 50 seasons ago. Okay? That's weirdo behavior. And you're going to leave those weirdos exactly where they are, stuck in the past. Tap in. Now, there's also this observational conversation that's going on. And this is really like people are simply studying you. Oh. I hope you did not think that all conversations about you were simply due to haters. No, you're so much more than that. And everybody around you is not hating on you. And you should have people who see you and that's where you automatically go. Some people are literally observing you, looking, learning, studying, trying to figure out how you did it so that they can have a blueprint so they can do it too. And quite frankly, I love that. I love that. I feel like That is honorable. And many of us see this with one another. And we see this with uh, speakers and motivational speakers and some celebrities. We see this with people who share their stories, who are inspirations to us all. We absolutely love an observational person, or a person that we can a person that we can observe, so that we know certain techniques to make it to our next goal. Oh, I love that. I love that. So know that people are watching you quietly, but it's not to take from you, it's to see you. It's to see you. I also follow small content creators on here, and I'm observing them. I'm observing their wins, and I love it. And I think a lot of people see you as that as well. The question is, do you see yourself as that? Okay? I definitely want you to. Let's see what's going on with this observational energy as we continue on with this message. Ooh, yeah. Some people see you as straight up running the world. Some people see you larger than life. Some people see you running the absolute world, like you are unstoppable. They want to know your framework. Tennosaurus coming out here again. And you can be, let me tell you something, collective, you can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Yeah, you can be a bit overwhelming for people because what they see is the results, right? What they see is a result of all of the hard work. They don't see the trenches. That's not a part of you that's not a part of you that you display, at least not publicly, so people can observe that or people can see that. So because you have these successes that are public, not that you're putting out there, it's just the way you live your life. Everything ain't on social media. You could be walking down the street and inspiring people. And let me tell you something. Even your walking down the street and overwhelming people with your presence, that is also being observed. People simply don't know how to place you. They don't. So they see it as overwhelming. That is not your burden to carry, because people who are overwhelmed by your presence tend to come up and ask you imposing questions off the rip. If you're a woman that's ever been just in a space where you're just in a neutral space enjoying yourself, and people come up and start prying about your life and who you are, I want you to understand that they are observing your energy, and they want to know what it is about you that is the epitome of magnetism, excuse me. So I really like this energy. People are seeing you as the queen. There's the queen of pentacles energy here. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are even debating whether or not you're the real deal, which you are, because how can you fake your authenticity this much? You can't. You can't. You can't. So yeah, so two conversations that we've had thus far. We've had the spiritual warfare and the negative conversation. And now we have the neutral observational conversation. I think there's also a conversation that your name is in a lot of people's mouths, and it's one that doesn't get spoken about enough. And I speak about it a lot. And it is delayed recognition. Mm-hmm. So when I say that you are in somebody's mouth through multiple lanes of conversation, delayed recognition is a big one. And a lot of you may find the delayed recognition conversation come in the form of family, and maybe even longtime friends who did not see your genius at the very beginning. Speaking of which, can you guys make sure you hit that like button on the way in here? When people don't see your vision, when people don't see what you're working towards in its totality, there is I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. There is this point in their minds, in their lives, where they don't know how to support you, congratulate you, or they just go quiet because they don't know what to do with the radical moves that you're making. And it's not even that your radical moves are so outlandish, it's just different from what the people around you have usually expected or seen, right? And so I feel like as we continue to unpack these conversations about you being in, well, unpack these conversations about you being in different lanes of a conversation at the same time. um the delayed recognition, I believe, deserves its own honoring, because this is where you come back and you tell the people that were supposed to be there when you were struggling, that was supposed to be there when you didn't have it all, or supposed to be there when you needed direction. And because they did not know what to do, how to do it, how to support you, they shut you out, thereby shutting themselves out of your success. This is kind of where you come back around and say, see, I told you I was going to do it. I told you I was going to make it. I told you this is where I was going to be or say or do. I told you, like, look, mom, I'm famous. I told you this is what I was going to do, right? And there is something very unique in people revising their opinion about you, because oftentimes you'll have this mindset of, these people didn't love me, these people didn't want me to win, when they just couldn't see past their own fears most of the time. Most of the time. And because they couldn't see past their own fears, they didn't know how to support you when you were breaking your own barriers. That's why I don't believe everybody is a hater. I believe some people are just stunted in their growth on how to support other people. Sometimes it is just that. And because they can't see what life is like breaking out of their own comfort zone, you're not supposed to break out of yours either. You're not supposed to break out of your own comfort zone. You're supposed to say, "Up, I reached my threshold. That's enough." You know how to support people when they are bursting through newness, through freshness. You know how to do that because you know what it's like to not be supported when you are bursting through yours, when you are going through a new portal, when you have arrived at a threshold and you need somebody to hold your hand, when you are sitting in a space that is confident, that is true to you. Yeah, you know what it's like to not have. Therefore, you make sure that the next woman that comes into your vicinity that has a recognizable journey or a recognizable path, you make sure that you are someone that can be trusted. You make sure that you are someone who can be understanding and compassionate. And let me tell you something, holding yourself to that standard, I'm gonna tell you right now that you are really breaking generational curses right there, generational binders. Because being scared to move past your own fears, that's just not always a internal issue. It can be societal, it can be legal, it can be political, it can be so many different ways. I always talk about personal development and what that means spiritually, emotionally, when it comes to manifestation, alignment, spiritual warfare, healing. I speak about all of those things. But I'm also understanding and I also recognize that some people literally cannot practice going outside of their fear. Some people don't have the freedom to do that. And that could be of the times, which is now for a lot of people, or that can be because of the generation they grew up in. So I would pay attention to the people who are able to revise their opinion about your success and your journey. They never had a negative opinion about you. They never had a negative opinion about you as the person. Just what you were doing was so big, they could not fathom it because it pushed past their fears. That is an acute distinction and one that should be spoken about. Does that mean that you have to immediately allow them back into your life? No. Like what happened, right? But there is not a harsh door closed when you can look at those who deserve that leeway in that way. Okay? So those that are able to revise their opinion and they're able to come around and say, I am so proud of you of what you were able to accomplish. I would have never dreamed that something like that was possible. When you have people who are saying, wow, I'm proud of you and what you did was beyond what I could ever do, that's different. That's different. So you being a topic of conversation where you are breaking not only your own barriers, but you are breaking familial ones as well. Oh, that's major. Speaking of which, this just came down to me in a channel message, in a channel knowing, that breaking generational curses could go for friendships as well. It doesn't have to be your bloodline. Your actions, when I speak of delayed recognition, your actions impact everybody around you, including your friends. And when you take big, bold steps to align yourself in the life that you've manifested, your friends, they take notice. And when they take notice and they tap in, you are directly affecting how they maneuver in life. And if you're directly affecting how they maneuver in life, and they do something that's bold as well, that's for their betterment and empowerment, you're also helping them break their generational chains. That's what I say. When I say like you're powerful, I think a lot of times women just boil that down to what that power looks like outside of them. Well, baby, you breaking multi-generational chains, curses, spell work by living a life of alignment, not just with you, but the people around you. Baby, that is powerful work. That's why when we started out with the conversation, where your name is being brought up in spiritual warfare and negative conversations, the reason why I harped on that the way that I did is because we have to understand that yes, it's bigger, but it's nowhere close to the power that you are investing in people just by living in alignment. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that. Ooh-wee. Queen of Swords coming out again. Queen of Swords coming out again. Why I feel so far away from y'all? Are we far from each other, y'all? Okay. Is that better? I just felt like I was so far away from y'all. I'm about to go reach my hand. It's like I was going forever. Okay. Another Queen of Swords coming out. Independent woman. And let me tell you something. This independent woman is a mother. Okay. This independent woman is a mother effer. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Many women like yourself, accomplished, high capacity, spiritually gifted, emotionally intelligent, many women like you, y'all ain't want to have to do it alone. You didn't want to have to do it. Thank you. Thank you. You didn't want to do it alone. You had to do it alone. Either because no one literally could not show up for you, or because the precedent that you were setting was so big that no one literally could come with you anyway. Sometimes the journey requires just you. So the independence is a differentiator, but it should not be the lone decision on how you move through this world. People like myself want to support women like you. It is embedded in us, and not just, oh, we show up to a brunch here and there. Like there's an emotional palette that is sophisticated and tuned into your frequency. And you want to be seen for the woman that had to be independent, the woman who was looking for community and couldn't find it because other women just did not have the capacity to hold you. Let me tell you something. All right, break. I'll come back to this message in a second. Let me talk about being in a circle of women who are also high achieving, spiritually gifted, but do not have the emotional capacity or intelligence to support you. The reason why this just blooms in this message for me is because I recognize that there is a huge gap in women's support. I recognize that there's such a huge gap in women's support that the healing industry makes billions of dollars off of this gap. And it is the crisis to healing to reset gap. Oh, you don't know what to do? Okay, buy this journal where you can reset your emotions. Oh, you don't know what to do? You're in a crisis. You need to fix your mindset. Oh, okay, now that you fix your mindset, let's start back over again. And now that you start back over again, you need something that's going to put you back into crisis so that we can sell something else to you that's going to be an easy fix, that's going to make you better than you was last time. But let me tell you something. Women like you who have invested, who have been in that cycle, have been annoyed by that cycle, high key, who have quit that cycle because you don't fit in there anymore. Women like you go on to invest in major masterminds, okay? I'm talking about women. Let me tell you something, Travis, I don't even know if you know this. Women invest 10, $15,000, $20,000 a month so that they can be in a room or have close proximity to someone else that can hold their capacity. Because the friend group that they've connected with, those women are spread thin. Because the journaling prompt, okay, the PDF that they're supposed to download got lost in all the other emails. The people that they want to speak to, they don't have any calendar openings. Yes, per month. There are women right now who are investing buku money in their spiritual and personal development at a higher level. Why? Because first of all, that type of exchange requires that level of what's the word I'm looking for? Investment. And then also because it's not that many people. Yeah. Which is why, Travis, I want you to tap in. Yeah, it's a whole card, but again, we have to understand that women are making that money. And women find that having a space that powerful is worth it. That's an investment. Yeah, I wanted to point that out because women find having a space that holds their capacity unapologetically and recognizing them as a whole, as someone not to be fixed, as someone that doesn't need a mindset, fixer-upper, who doesn't have to feel like they have to lower themselves, their standards, hide themselves, or watch their mouth, or they can't be corporate and they can't be a little bit, raunchy at the mouth. To find somebody that can hold that capacity and still exchange at a high level spiritual conversation, baby, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. It allows for a healthy growth without them having to be made feel like they have to still be in a broken cycle in order to receive. Mhm. You can be healed and still want to be held. You can be healed and still want to be held. And that is exactly why the witness woman exists. It is exactly why the witness woman exists. Because when a witness woman who has yet to be confirmed in their next level of life, when they walk into a room, they have to introduce themselves as an older version of themselves. Mhm. They have to soften their story when people are asking about them. They have to limit the, oh no, it's not, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, or they have to tell their story with a smile on their face. There's always some type of edit. There's always some type of edit that a woman who is truly in her power has to do because the room is not equipped to hold her at her full capacity. And I'm sick of it. It actually annoys me. I've been that woman in those rooms. I've sat with women at the end of their lives who are transitioning to the final phases of their lives as a hospice social worker, 11th hour care. And I've held those women. I've held those women in their full capacity, honoring what is and what isn't. And so when I see a lot of this shrinking of women who are beautiful, accomplished, spiritually intelligent, spiritually gifted, emotionally intelligent, they got their shit together. When I see that, and then they have to step into a room, they're like, oh, well, nobody here can hold me. Baby, I'm here. I can hold you. What's the event? What's the conversation? What's the container? Applications are open right now for my witness woman one-on-one offer. Travis has put the link somewhere in there. You make sure you click that link. Applications are open. It's an easy application, 7 questions. And then we schedule an alignment call together to make sure we're the perfect fit. It's 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks. I want you to tap in. Because the women I'm speaking to, they are in who they are. They have invested in the deep healing. They have done a significant amount of work on themselves. They should not have to shrink or edit anything when they're speaking to another woman, when they're in their friend group, when they're telling their stories. This is the shift from becoming her to I became. Yeah. We're celebrating, we're recognizing, we're honoring the I became. Thank you. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Back to the regularly scheduled program, okay? Woo-wee. So what's the last thing we talked about? I think it was, what was it? Delayed recognition. That was the last thing we spoke about. Hey, everybody, hey. Okay. Now we're going into, woo-wee, baby. We're going into boss territory. Tap in, collective. We're going into boss territory. This is the positive conversations. This is where your name is flowing through the rooms of abundance. This is where your name is being brought up in connection with overflow, in connection with your expertise, with your connection to your depth. This is where people are seeing the ways that you are inspiring other people quietly, and people love that you are an inspiration. So this is different from like the neutral observation, because with neutral observation, people are just sitting back watching you. And conversations about you being someone that people admire, the conversation is, I admire her because of this, and this. That's the difference. In this group of conversationalists, no one is scared to mention your name. No one is scared that when they say your name, they know it rings at a higher frequency and vibration. Like nobody is unaware of that. Oh my gosh, have you seen the way that she showed up to this party, or that she showed up to her interview, or that she was able to pitch her idea, or that she started her own business? That girl is the bomb. She's all that in the bag of chips, showing my age. Wow, what she did was magnificent. People see how God is moving in you, and they recognize that frequency. Did you hear what I just said to you? When I said God is not playing about you, you are in all conversations, what did you think I meant? What did you think I meant? God is moving through you, and people are saying, my goodness, I love how she shows up. That's powerful. So I keep telling you, I don't know how you missed it, but you are incredibly powerful. Big King of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. This is the barrier I am speaking about. This is the portal that you are busting through, that people are seeing, and they are saying, hey, I didn't know if I saw it, said hi to you. They are saying, I like her. My life is changed. Just a small part of my life has significantly upgraded because I know what she is doing. I like what she is doing. She's given somewhat of her fairy blueprint of divine femininity, and I can now step into who I am, knowing a little bit more than I did a moment ago before I recognized how powerful she was. You think that people aren't having those conversations about you? Do you think that people are not speaking positively about you? I know we immediately go to the negative. I know what algorithm I'm in. Most people go to the negative. Oh, no. In your life, as God continues to bless you, the negative is this mom. Is this mom? We can barely okay, we can barely see it. We got a pry eyeball open when it comes to the negative conversation. Doesn't mean it's not important, that you should not be aware, but what it means is that there are other conversations that are bigger and bolder than a negative one. Oh boy. I love it. Listen, I love that for us too. It's giving big P energy. Now I know this says big D energy, but listen, okay. This we are establishing who we're speaking to. All right. King of Wands. What you're basically saying is that me as the divine feminine, my energy is and my work, my body of work, along with everything else that I've invested in for myself, is speaking loudly for me. This is my energetic resume, and people have taken notice and put that along with my actual body of work of what I present in life. People are not just saying, oh, that's a good person. They're saying that's a good person because she showed up. She did this. She was able to. People are speaking about you in the positive. Yeah. Type 1 in the chat is okay if I take a sip of water. This is the room where people are not praying against you. They're not enacting spiritual legislation to start spiritual warfare for you. People are praying for your success. Ooh, the mosquitoes tore me up at the beach. Man, I got one right here. I got one right here. People are praying for your success. They are praying for your protection. Hi. They are praying for you to win. I need you to take that in. While you got people at the lowest frequency, dark and nasty energy, while you got that going on. And they are subsequently hoping for your downfall. They're doing all types of spell casting, all types of burning candles against you. Let's say spiritual warfare is a real thing, right? Why these people are plotting against you? You think you out here praying by yourself. You think you're enacting the warrior class of your ancestral realm. And you don't even realize that you got people who you might not even know. They only see your body of work praying for you, for your protection. Now, the haters don't even know why they really ain't got nothing. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Oh, boy. Man. I love this. People's lives change just by watching you. People's lives change just by watching you. Speaking of which, did y'all share this video? Did you share this video? I don't know. I don't know. Could you share the video, please? All right. All right. And then finally, as I was just Coco, was that you? As I was just talking about spiritual warfare, look what came up. Look what came up. He's an F boy. My girl Ben said it. That's why I should no, let me not rap Trina. Let me not rap Trina right now. Okay. Let me not rap Trina right now. The devil done came out to a Fields, to a Cubs, all emotional bitches. Oh, hurt feeling ass bitches. Oh, can't get right bitches. Oh, lying every time bitches. Baby. Right as I was talking about the negativity and the people praying against you and wanting to take your place and they can't get right, boom, just confirmation that is happening. Don't mean you need to act against them. We don't see them, okay? We just know that it's happening. And we know that there's a higher level of protection for us. Oh boy. Now, here's the part that I think a lot of women miss in the conversations. Conversation. Here's the part that I think kind of just misses. Because most of us, we need the conversations to be like real, right? Like we need to know, like we know that people are talking negative about us, right? We know that there's people observing us and that there's delayed reaction. And we get like all of these are concrete proofs that we've lived through in our lives, right? I've never met anybody that has not had these experiences before. The conversation that gets pushed to the wayside or doesn't get spoken about enough outside of the positive and delayed reaction is the supernatural conversation. And these are the conversations that happen in rooms that you will never enter. These are the conversations in places that you may never touch. It's okay. That's okay. But the conversations are happening. They're happening in the spirit before they manifest in reality. Okay. Y'all know when I grab the microphone, it's a serious conversation. Conversations that happen in the spiritual, in the spirit before they manifest in the natural are a form of spiritual legislation that I speak about as a prayer alchemist. Okay. When I speak about accepting your assignment and your anointing, many of you forget that you've accepted your anointing before the assignment arrived. And your assignment is the road to your appointment. So we have assignment and we have appointment. Many of you have been christened in the supernatural and you feel it, but there's nothing that happened in the natural that has been able to warrant you putting things to the test, right? Or you stepping into it fully. A lot of the times these conversations happen in the supernatural, and the way that you open up those doors or those pathways is you've got to get out there and start doing shit. You have to start investing in yourself emotionally, spiritually. You've got to break through those shadows. You have to do a lot of inner work, deep work, discovery work. And you have to start giving and start giving back. Volunteer work is a big one. Working within your ministry, what your gifts are, is another one. Because the more that you show that the work is getting done, the more people are saying in the spiritual realm, I have to say people, angels, right? Ancestors, the spirit, the Holy Spirit. The more the Holy Spirit is loud about you, the more the Holy Spirit is saying, this one right here, that's the one. That is the one. That is the one that we've poured this exact cocktail so that she can show up in this exact way during this exact moment. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you why that's important. And I will continue to say this until I take my last breath. The reason why that's important is because your assignment, your alignment, your appointment is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. There are people out here who you will serve that will change the world. Yeah. There are people out here who you will touch for a moment and they are going to completely heal a part of this globe that you may never see. Some of you are entering a phase in your spirituality where you are saying, I must create a business. I must be able to touch people in this way. I must be able to give this gift in a way that is an exchange of energy, of currency. Your name is being spoken in the spiritual realms and all of the dimensions, every last one of them, the lows and the highs. And I need you to accept that and realize that the more work that you do, the more pathways that open for you. We're in overflow. We're in overflow. That's why your capacity is more than what you're used to. We're in overflow. Take it, love it, lean into it. Tap in. Whew. That's all you. That's all you, collective. Mm, mm, mm. You don't have a reputation just in the natural. You have a reputation in the supernatural, and it shows up here in the natural in the biggest way possible. People can ground your work. People can ground your worth, not your worth, scratch that. They can ground your value based off of how you transform their lives. Whether it is from deep work that you've done with people or just passing by. You MVP, for real. Ooh, we got King of Pentacles going along with the Hermit, stepping out in full power. Oh, okay, because y'all thought the Hermit meant closing within. What the Hermit means in many different ways is recognizing how to harness all of your gifts and make it tangible and real. No surprise that the Hermit is facing the King of Pentacles. That's what this is about. And I feel like some of you might feel lost on how to do that. Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands at the bottom. How do I source this? You need to click that link for my one-on-one offering of Witness Woman. How do you source it? You've been sourcing it. That's why you're here. That's why you can't have normal conversations with people. Eight of Swords, yeah. That's why you can't have normal conversations with people because they feel stuck. Seven of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords, yeah. Because other people are stuck in a place that just simply cannot hold you. Okay. That's okay. I'm not stuck in that place. There are many people who are watching this right now who are not stuck in that place. And there's nothing wrong with people going back and replanting the seeds that failed, the seeds that didn't grow. But until they do for themselves, they have to be in the place that they are. I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, we got big Pentacles. We got the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. What's going on with the Queen of Pentacles? Going on with the Queen of Cups? What am I talking about here? I'm telling you, baby. I am telling you that your capacity, God, your capacity is vast. I wanted to say big, but it's bigger than big. It's vast. It's complex. Yeah, that's what your capacity is. And it's hungry. It's hungry for a place where it can rest. Because before, your capacity was to receive everyone else. You're looking to be received. Yeah, without having to be changed. Looking at the Queen of Pentacles, yeah, you want to be received while relaxing. You want to be received while being loved, without feeling the need to have to move. If you are overwhelmed with emotions and you want to cry, you want to be able to cry without somebody saying, stop crying. Allow the overflow to happen in you. If you are angry, you don't want somebody to say, don't be angry. You want to be able to feel that power while also recognizing that there's something underneath that anger that you want to deal with. Like being held in your capacity. I need you to get out of your mindset that that's a big ask. It's not a big ask. It's not an unyielding ask. You're not asking to be reinvented. You're not asking for people to pave the way for you. You just want to be held in your capacity. And I am so here for that. No matter what part of the conversation you show up in, no matter what part of the conversation you hear, know that your capacity impacts other people. Period. Period. Just by you existing and walking in your alignment. Let me tell you something. Let us pull a quote from the wonderful Megan Thee Stallion. 1 second, please. All right. Hold on, let me pull it up. So I want to make sure I get the lyrics right. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Where is the song? Oh, here it go. There you go, y'all. I had to get the song. All right. Megan Thee Stallion says, this is poetry, okay? So everybody put your whatever this emoji is in the chat, put your fire emojis in the chat. Because this is where I want you to really, lean into this. She says, they got a sub. Hey, Coco, I'm going to take y'all in a second. They got a sub. They got a tweet. They got to go get their homegirl for me. If I was still doing broke shit with your broke ass, then your broke ass wouldn't want beef. I need you to remember that. I need you to remember that. The next time you hear the low vibrational conversation with the F people, with people who just want your engagement because of what you're doing out there in the world, because you're changing lives, because they fail to be positively impacted by who you are, so all they can do is talk ish. I need you to understand that there's a whole other spectrum of conversations that are happening about you. And you can still let that low vibrational energy know, if I was still doing broke shit with your broke ass, then your broke ass wouldn't want beef. Okay? That's the ending word. You've elevated beyond. You've gone above and beyond what they ever thought you were going to be. You made it. And you made it in such a way that I think sometimes you surprise yourself. Don't be surprised. because you knew you could do it. It's just that while you was in the trenches, it just seemed impossible. But it's not. You are living proof that the conversations that are happening about you are negative, are neutral and observational, delayed recognition, which we went into depth about, positive and admirational, and spiritual and supernatural. Those are the levels. Your name is not just ringing in low vibrational, because if it was, you would feel it. You would only feel that. You know how they say too blessed to be stressed? Yeah. Make sure y'all hit the like button before y'all dip up out of here. Love on this channel, please. Thank you so very much. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Applications are open for the Witness Woman, my one-on-one offering where I honor your healing journey where you are now. Okay? Applications are open. The link is pinned in the comment section. It will also be pinned in the description of this video. Take a look at everything this offering has. All right. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because we're not putting people back in healing crisis loops, right? We're extracting the goodness and we're keeping it there. I love you guys so much. I will see you on the next live stream. Bye.